My name is Dr. Aloo Joash. I was honored to serve Kabianga School for a period of about 8 years. But in total, I was a high school principal for 21 years. My transfer to Kabianga was extraordinary because I received a phone call from the Teacher Service Commission Secretary to report to him, and I didn't know that I was going to be transferred because it was in the middle of the year. That was 4th of June 2015. So when I visited the office the following day in the morning, the report was not good. It was a very discouraging report that I was told about the school in terms of mass indiscipline, low academic performance. And so what inspired me is that report. Just like the Bible talks about, people went to spy the land, and only Caleb and Joshua had a good report. So my dream was that during my tenure in Kabianga, I would leave a legacy. And one of the things is that throughout my tenure as a teacher, I was a student person. I believed in transforming lives of students. I believed in holistic learning. And now that this is a school where parents had apathy about and withdrawing their students, we needed to do something that would make it to be an inviting school so that we would retain the students. And the only thing that would retain the students, effective curriculum implementation, effective curriculum supervision, effective curriculum evaluation, and also total discipline. Then my major focus in Kabianga was to work on an inviting school, because when I arrived, I did a needs assessment, and I found that the students' self-esteem was extremely low. I found a staff that was divided. They were not speaking from the common front. I found a school that had dilapidated structures. I found the number of students not commensurate with the facilities. Some of the students were even sharing beds. So the first thing that we had to fix is the welfare of the learners. But again, what was more important is the culture shift. We had to persuade our learners that they were now a national school and they needed to reflect nationalism in the manner in which they handle themselves. So I remember when I met the first candidates in 2015, we decided to venture on benchmarking so that they could go out and understand how national schools operate, because Kabianga had just been upgraded into a national school. So the school, through the then chairman of the board, Engineer Koske, sponsored the students to visit Maseno School, Alliance Boys High School, Kanga High School, and we had these students spread throughout those national schools. And one of the schools they visited again later was Kapsabet, just to let them know that students are the same. What marks the difference is perception towards life, being visionary and focused, holistic discipline, and just hard work. So they came back with a good report, and so we used the cohort of that year to begin mentoring the other learners within the school. As a principal, I also believe that discipline begins with the leader, because leadership is about influence. Nobody would listen to me, whether it's a teacher, a student, support staff, board of management, if discipline never began from me. So I believed in what I would say, and I would only say what I would do, and I would pursue to do what I believed in up to the end. And one thing I believed in is that Kabianga was a giant, and so that is why we have, when you enter Kabianga at the gate, you see we are talking of soaring on God's eagle wings. We believe that putting God first will take us far as a school. And so, by and large, we started developing collaborations with like-minded schools, and the students began interacting with the learners from other schools that were performing, and this quite inspired them. Through the efforts of the parents, the board of management, and prudent financial management that I put in place, we were able to begin improving on infrastructure. And just to also ensure that the teachers settled well in school, we had to put up a few affordable houses within the school, and also improving the manner in which the curriculum was being implemented. It was extremely difficult during my tenure for lessons to go untaught because learners were empowered. They knew that when they were in school, the mainstay was tuition. And so anytime a teacher was away, they were free to visit with me in my office freely. And I would walk out where a teacher was genuinely away. I would take a lesson to ensure that their time was well utilized. But I want to appreciate the teachers of Kabianga, that that culture shift ensured that our syllabi were covered in time. In fact, by 30th of March, we were done with Form 4 syllabus, and then we disembarked on revision, and we would categorize the students according to their level of competencies and see how to improve, help them improve in their academics. By and large, again, Kabianga had no visiting days, so parents were free to walk to school any other day, and that immediate feedback was very crucial to us, because if we left students to suffer throughout the term, they would be tense, so many things would have been lost and we would not recover. But here we had parents who come to school on any other day between 4 to 5, interact with their children and give us feedback. We developed a very competitive atmosphere in Kabianga, both in terms of curriculum and co-curricular activities. We reward disciplined students, and every Friday and Mondays were principals' assemblies where awards were being given. And this was very motivating to the learners, not only to the learners, but even to the staff. We came up with other robust programs where teachers were motivated, because for every grade A, the parents would ensure that they are given a treat. And severally we went out, one time to Mwanza, severally to Mombasa. This was very motivating. But once in a while again, the principal would just give the teachers a treat by taking them out to a known destination, and our briefing would be there. And while there, I would get feedback even from those who never talk in the staff room, especially when they have taken a lot of tea. I don't know whether it was tea or what, but then they would be charged to come and tell me, now sir, come, we want to go and tell you how when we are back to school, we are going to change things. So when you look at Kabianga now, it is not the Kabianga of 2015. A lot of things, a lot of efforts were put in place to ensure that the teachers themselves were individually responsible for performance of students in their particular subjects. And every Tuesday, I had a senior management meeting from 7 to 8, where every head of subject and every head of department would give an account of what is going on in their areas of jurisdiction. And I also managed by walking around. I hardly sat in the office. I would have time to walk throughout the school, whether it was in the dining hall, dormitory areas, the farm, and every other time walking from one class to the other. We encouraged ourselves to work as a team, and so teachers never owned their classrooms, but collectively they built a synergy, and the staff were able to work harmoniously And that was positive competition, because if Kiswahili succeeded, then the school results would go up. And I want to commend the mathematics team because of what they did every Saturday. Early in the morning at dawn, they give an exam, and by 11 o'clock, the exam is marked. By the time I was leaving Kabianga school was the second best school in mathematics in Kenya. And this really, because of the energy, the effort, that robust concern about the learners, to me is what is very reminiscable when I remember Kabianga school. Again, when I joined the school, the number of teachers were extremely few compared with the number of students. So many teachers were employed by BOM. But during my tenure and very good working relations with the Teacher Service Commission, I was able to ensure that a number of teachers were employed. Seasoned teachers had an opportunity to interact with our students. And we would even have teachers from other schools coming to interact with our learners. And that was also a game changer because of stimulus variation. And so they had an opportunity to, help our learners to reinforce what their regular teachers were able to. And our kind of assessment model was superb because the teachers took time to evaluate students after every topic is covered, and the students knew that good performance came with goodies and in public. So really that was very important. The other bit that I remember which was crucial also was community service, that our students would go out to serve the community and look for those who are vulnerable. One time I put up a building the whole weekend, and they would contribute. They were mindful about one another's welfare, especially when the schools were open. They would come up with a kitty. The other bit that to me was a game changer in the school was the chaplaincy. We had a seasoned chaplain who was very focused and had enough time with the students even at odd hours, and he spent much of his time with the students even at odd hours without any major pay, because what we used to give is just a stipend. But that chaplaincy was very crucial because we had several professionals who were committed Christians coming to share with our students, and they would not only preach but also inspire them in terms of careers. And adopting a pastor in every stream was also very good because religion can tame students, can tame human beings, and can make them to still have hope. Like we have students who don't have parents, some of them are so dejected. So the foster parenting was also a very important aspect in that school, because we assigned teachers, their foster students. In law, in Kenya, we say that a teacher will act in loco parentis while a child is in school. That means when you are a teacher, your work is to ensure that the child receives what this child would receive from the parent when they're at home. So those children who are very vulnerable, from difficult families, not able to raise fees, we were able to retain them in school because of the information I would get from the foster parents. And some foster parents would even do a background check by visiting the homes of those children. And when they give me a report, I would be able to act. Of course, in extreme cases, I would also sneak in the homes of the children just to confirm that what I've heard is true. And when I come back, I'm able to make a decision. And I know there are many children, learners who passed through our hands, who are now in position today, and they would not have been if we were very strict. But again, I was very firm and fair. Ordinarily, I'm a strict disciplinarian, and that would not make me to be very popular with everybody, including where I serve today, because I believe that a good society must have order, and order begins with the top leadership. And you cannot tell students to be disciplined when you, as a teacher, you are not disciplined. You cannot tell them to be well-groomed when you are not well-groomed. So I know occasionally I had to rub shoulders with my colleagues in terms of their dressing and all that. But that was very useful because there is what we call the hidden curriculum, what a child can learn by seeing. In fact, I miss being a teacher today, and tomorrow I may still get back my job because, interacting with people, molding lives, you are co-creator with God. There is nothing that makes a teacher rich at heart when you see so many people who have passed through your hands being very successful in life. And you feel so dejected when there are children who pass through your hands and they have not succeeded. It's like a doctor who has taken a patient to the theater and the patient succumbs after the operation. A good doctor will celebrate and thank God when they have succeeded. Really, that is why teaching is a noble task. It's not about making money. I'm not rich, but I'm rich at heart. But God has given me what can keep me going in terms of food, clothing, and shelter. But I have so many students whom I taught for several years. They are very wealthy, driving big cars, big offices. My pride is them. They are my wealth. When I look at them, I feel very proud that really so-and-so passed through my hands. I have some who are teaching at the university, and they get to visit with me. We share and we laugh, and that makes me to be very, very happy. So ordinarily, my first interaction with my employer telling me all the negative things about Kabianga was really what motivated me to give Kabianga my best, because I wanted to prove the world wrong that you can make a change in a society. You can be the agent of change by being a transformative leader and believing in yourself and the people that you work with. And the teachers of Kabianga made me proud. The board of management, I want to thank particularly Mr. Lazarus White. There are times when things were not very easy for me in Kabianga, being a foreigner in quotes, but he stood with me because he believed in my leadership. And at the end of the day, we have something to be proud of, that we left a reminiscible legacy. And I'm happy that to date, nobody has broken the record of Kabianga being the most sought after school in Kenya in the last 3 years. But it was a long journey. Our first result there, I think in 2016, was a paltry mean of 6.8 or thereabout. But you see, by the time I was leaving, it was the best result in 33 years. And so I'm grateful about that. And I want to thank the learners because they also embraced holistic curriculum by ensuring that they participated in all the activities. We excelled in hockey, rugby, music, drama, community service. We were able to go to State House not once for presidential award scheme. And that to me was very, very important. And the way the students loved their school and they supported the school fully, that to me, I cannot forget. I can't thank them more. So I want to wish Kabianga the best again as they celebrate the 1 century of her existence. I look forward to this being the model school, not only in Kenya, but even in Africa as a whole. That one of these fine days, when records are being talked and mentioned, Kabianga would feature, because Kabianga has been able to even ferry students abroad to go and compete on matters academics. And our students are very resilient. It is one school where students don't change their courses when they join the university. They don't change at all, because it is a school of brave people, a school of men, the lion. And so the kind of life we expose them to and the rigorous programs, I think when they join the university, they find it a walkover. Just 2 weeks ago, one of our students who has just cleared his, who graduated from Dedan Kimathi with electrical and electronic engineering, called Calvin Somiti, invited me for his graduation, and we had 2 students from Bomet who came to join him in Homa Bay. And the young man is going everywhere He's on top of things. Even before he graduated, he's all over the nation and sometimes traveling outside the country. Those are the kind of students that pass through our hands. And I remember this young man joined Kabianga. He only 350 marks at KCP, and I gave him hope. And I tell you, by the time he was leaving Kabianga, he had scored grade A-. He was supposed to do a course in clinical medicine. I told him, I don't see you being a doctor, you're more of an engineer. And he's extremely happy that I guided him, and he changed the course, and he's pursuing a course of his choice, and he's so motivated. Many others that I can talk about. I would not want to end by not reminding us that frugal appliance of resources, in other words, I will talk of prudent financial and resource management, was also a game changer, something that helped me. Because when I joined Kabianga, I found sundry creditors, pending bills of 18 million. And there was only 3 million in the school account. By the time I was leaving, Mr. Yeko can confirm this, what were in the account was in excess of 18 million, and that was third term. And I'd paid all the pending bills, and the school had only less than 3 weeks to close. And so you can see that in 8 years, I changed the manner in which the school was being managed, and I left surplus that you'll never find in any school within the Republic of Kenya. And this is because I believed in honesty. I believe that when you're given an opportunity to serve, you serve on public trust. You are there on behalf of the general public. You don't just go there to enrich yourself. Otherwise, this home of mine would have mansionettes and many big things. I had an opportunity to get that, but I thought that was not my priority. My priority was to make a difference. And so I left a very rich school, which I'm very proud of. Thank you.